November is coming. Are you ready to learn why this month is so fascinating in Latin culture? Today, I have a lot of great facts and Spanish words for you to learn about el Día de los Muertos and el Día de Todos los Santos, Day of the Dead and All Saints' Day. Are these two very similar holidays celebrated in some Latin American countries at the beginning of November also have some differences between them that we will discover together. Get ready to learn a bunch of new vocabulary words about these major traditions. Do you want to learn about this and many other topics too? Remember to click that subscribe button to watch our weekly videos. If you don't want to miss out on anything, hit that notification bell. Like this video if you want to keep on learning. Learning begins in 3, 2, 1. First things first, what's the difference between el Día de los Muertos and el Día de Todos los Santos? Easy. El Día de Todos los Santos, or All Saints' Day, is on November 1st. El Día de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is on November 2nd. Now, what happens on these holidays that all Latin Americans cherish so much? El Día de Todos los Santos in Guatemala is a day to remember our loved ones, nuestros seres queridos. In Guatemala, people like to prepare special foods to share with others and reminisce together. For example, they always prepare el fiambre. El fiambre is a flavorful mix of cold meats, vegetables, and spices that Guatemalans enjoy for a lunch or dinner on November 1st. Another tradition is visiting their relatives' graves, las tumbas de sus familiares. They decorate them with floral arrangements too. Los guatemaltecos decoran las tumbas de sus familiares con flores. On this date, some people like to gather around their relatives' graves and eat their delicious fiambre with their family. This symbolizes sharing with their late relatives even if they are no longer here on earth with them. Guatemalans know how to make the best out of a celebration. This is why they like to set street food stalls near the cemeteries for everyone to enjoy desserts and salty snacks after they've decorated their relatives' graves. Los guatemaltecos disfrutan comer postres después de visitar a sus familiares. Some of the most famous desserts are el chilacayote en dulce, pumpkin dipped in honey, el garbanzo en dulce, chickpeas dipped in honey. Because November is a very windy month, it creates an awesome opportunity for kids and the whole family to fly kites, volar barriletes. But not just any type of kite. People make big, colorful, and unique kites to show them off in the air. This tradition is not only because of the great winds. People do it as a symbol of spirits rising up to the skies. Los barriletes simbolizan los espíritus elevándose al cielo. There is also another tradition on this day. It's called La Carrera de las Ánimas. It's a horseman race that takes place in Huehuetenango. They wear colorful outfits and other townspeople gather around to watch them. Lastly, November 1st marks the end of a cycling race that goes around the country. Many people gather outside of their houses to watch the cyclists pass by and finally end the race on this day. El 1 de noviembre finaliza la carrera de ciclismo. It's amazing how Guatemala has tons of interesting traditions, right? If you're enjoying learning about these and many other topics in Spanish, this is just the place for you. At Homeschool Spanish Academy, our lessons are fun and engaging, with native Spanish speakers that will help you become a fluent speaker in no time. Before we continue, remember to sign up for a free class today to learn more about Hispanic culture, language, and more. Let's continue, as there's a lot to discover about El Día de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. El Día de los Muertos is a holiday in Mexico. Mexicans also celebrate All Saints' Day on November 1st, but their main celebration happens on November 2nd. In Mexico, se celebra el Día de los Muertos, el 2 de noviembre. Did you know that this celebration dates back to pre-Columbian times? The Aztecs believed in El Señor de la Muerte, the Lord of Death, and their name for El Inframundo, the underworld, was Mictlan. Very similarly to Guatemalans, Mexicans believe in the power of ofrendas, offering food and other significant objects to those who have left them. According to their beliefs, spirits of the dead rise and visit them on this day, which is why they prepare special foods and, more importantly, altares, altars with pictures of their loved ones. Colocar comida a los espíritus simboliza una ofrenda. Placing food for the spirits symbolizes an offering. Now, why do they need to place pictures of their relatives, you may wonder? They believe that if they place a picture, the spirit of that person will know they are remembered and will continue to visit every year. En México, se realizan altares en honor a los muertos para recordarlos siempre. Another similarity with Guatemalan All Saints' Day is that many spend the whole night around their relatives' graves, eating and sharing with other family members. An iconic image during Mexico's Day of the Dead is La Catrina. The use of the image dates back to 1912, but it wasn't until some decades later that the famous artist Diego Rivera gave her the look we know now. Un sombrero con flores, a hat with flowers. Un vestido victoriano, a Victorian dress. Una sonrisa burlona, a smirk on her face. La Catrina is different from any regular skull image because of the colorful aspects that represent Mexican art. La Catrina es única del arte mexicano. There are two main celebrations in November in Latin America, especially in Guatemala and Mexico. November 1st is more significant in Guatemala. On El Día de Todos los Santos, Guatemalans prepare delicious food and decorate their relatives' graves. While Mexico also celebrates All Saints' Day, November 2nd is more significant. El Día de Muertos. They strongly believe in the connection with the dead, reinforcing this bond by setting up altars. Wow, wasn't that cultural insight amazing? We want to know, what was the most interesting fact you learned today? What are the traditions you were already familiar with? Let us know all about it in the comments. What else would you like to learn about Hispanic and Latin American culture? I'm sure that's an answer you've got to give a lot of thought to. Leave a comment and we'd be happy to make our next video about that. Feel free to watch our next video and check out our blog where you can learn a lot more. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Adios! I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell to never miss the best Spanish content on the web.